In this JSP web application, we're going to delete data from the Sequila database. We're going to delete records from the actor table. And also what we're going to do is we're going to display all of the rows in the actor table in a drop-down selection list for the user to select from, select an actor, and then delete that actor. Okay, so this time through the JSP web application, I'm not going to do so much talking. I'm just going to code, and a couple of times I'll explain what I'm doing, but I'm not going to do so much coding through this JSP web application in an attempt to make the tutorials a little bit shorter. Okay, so we're going to be, first of all, selecting all of the actors from the actor table. We're going to be displaying them in a form, specifically in a drop-down selection list. The user will select one of those actors, push on submit, and then we'll delete that actor from the database. This JSP web application, just like the last one, is going to contain only one JSP file that has the form and all of the database code combined. I'm going to start by including the form. Okay, so there's the form. Pretty basic. A drop-down selection, that's it, and a submit button so far. Now I'm going to include the code for an actor class. And I'm also going to set up the page so that we can connect to the database, prepare a SQL statement, and process the results. We don't need the date class, so I'm going to remove that. We are going to have an actor class, so I'm going to copy the previous actor classes that we have implemented and paste it into this file, and then update it. we're going to have two prepared statements, two SQL statements that we'll be executing in this class. One to select actors and another to delete actors. Remove this insert and compile. Yes, and there the error went away. Okay, so in my constructor, I'm going to set up my prepared statements. Okay, so there's my select statement and my delete statement. I have those set up. Now I have to implement methods that are going to execute these statements and also finish off preparing the statements, because the delete statement has a placeholder. So I'm going to implement a getActors method and also a deleteActor method within this class. There's the getActors method. Implement the catch and the error will probably go away. Yeah, there it goes away. Okay, and there is the deleteActor method in the actor class. Okay, so let me compile the code. Okay, and as you can see, we have two prepared statements in our actor class this time. One to select all of the actors. okay, from the actor table, and another to delete a single actor from the actor table. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to call, okay, these methods. So we have to set them up, okay, within some more Java code. Okay, so let's add that Java code. Okay, so there is a Java code that we need to have in place to, number one, select all of the actors that we're going to populate in our drop-down selection list, and also that we need to execute to delete an actor that is selected from the list, but only when the submit button is pushed. So this is kind of interesting code. We have a combination of things going on here. Okay, first of all, at the top, we're just flat out executing the get actors method, okay, which is going to, if we look at that code, it's going to select everything from the actors table. We're going to execute our select statement, which selects everything from the actor table. We're going to flat out execute it because what we want to do with that result set, with the actors result set, is we want to populate it in that drop down selection list, which we haven't done yet, but what we will do in just 1 second. Okay, but then down below here, what we're doing is we're setting up an integer, okay, that we're getting from the request parameters, okay, and what we're doing once we have that integer set up is we call the delete actor method to delete an actor that has a particular actor ID. But we only do that when the submit button has been pushed. We're checking the request parameters to see if the submit is not equal to null. If it's not equal to null, then we set up our integer, our act for the actor ID, and we pass that actor ID to the delete actor method, okay, which is going to execute our delete statement. We're going to delete a specific actor ID. But what we have to do now that we have our Java code set up, we're going to be adding some more Java code, is we have to process this result set, actors. And what we're going to do is we're going to display that in our drop-down selection list in our form. Okay, so what we're going to do, okay, right before where this option starts, because we want to have as many options in our drop-down selection list as we have records in our actors result set. So what we're going to include is another while loop here. We're going to include a while loop. And the condition of our while loop is going to be while actors dot next. Okay, just like that. And then after the option is where our while loop is going to end. So we're going to have our closing curly bracket for our while loop. Now within this option, we're going to include some Java code. First of all, okay, just like a text input has a value, an option has a value too. Okay, and the value that we're going to assign to this option, okay, is going to be the value that we retrieve back as the actor ID in the result set, in our actor's result set. So we're going to call the getInt method on our actor's result set, and what we're going to get is the actor ID column. That's the value that we're going to populate in the value of our option. Okay, but then and we're not going to see that in our form, but what we are going to see is the first name and the last name of all of the actors. So very similarly, I'm going to copy this code. Put a space here. I don't think it matters, but I am going to put a space there. Copy that, and then I'm going to paste it twice within the actual drop down option, and I'm going to change the reference from actor ID to first name, and actually these have to be get strings. Okay. And also the last name. Okay, so what we're going to be displaying, and the drop down option is going to be dynamic. What we're going to be displaying are the actual names, the first names and the last names of the actors. But behind the scenes, we're also going to be holding on to their actor IDs. Okay, so let's compile the code. We should be able to run this. I just want to show you. Let me compile this, and we'll run it. I want to show you the form. Hopefully everything works. And we have an error. Okay. Okay, so let's go back. I think I know where we may have gone astray. I probably didn't change, yes, I didn't change the last name to string here. Okay, the first name and the last name are both strings. Okay, so I have to change, I had a get in and it should have been a get string. Okay, so let me compile the code again, and we'll run it again. Okay, and this time it worked. So we have all of the actors displaying in this drop-down selection list. They've been retrieved from the database. Okay, so what I wanted to show you, this is kind of interesting. I want you to see the code. I want you to view the source for this HTML. Because in the drop-down selection list here, you can see we have multiple options, right? And there's the first name and the last name that we retrieved, but also here's the actor ID value. Okay, that's displayed sort of behind the scenes. You can't see that actor ID anywhere within the form, but behind the scenes you can see it in the HTML. There's an actor ID of 4 for Jennifer Davis, an actor ID of 5 for Johnny Lola Brigidia, or whatever his last name is. Okay, I wanted to illustrate that to you, but now what we want to do is we want to select one of these actors. We want to delete that actor from the database. So let's try. We're going to push on the submit button, and that actor should be deleted from the database. We should no longer, well, we see her in the drop down selection list, but let's see if she was deleted from the database. Okay, and she was. Okay, so the delete code is working too, but we're not getting any recognition of that. We're not seeing that anywhere within the form that, oh, okay, yes, the delete was successful. Okay, so let's go back into the code, and very similar to what we did in our last Java application, we're going to add a hidden text input to our form. We're going to name it hidden. It's going to be hidden. Okay, and the value that we're going to assign to the hidden text input is going to be the value in our result variable, because our result variable is going to have a different value based upon whether the delete succeeded or it failed. Initially we set it equal to 0, but if the delete succeeded, that will change to 1. Okay, the delete actor method will return a value of 1 if the delete succeeded. Okay, so we're going to have that value hidden, okay, within our HTML. Okay, so very similar to what we did in our previous web application. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go over to that previous web application. I'm going to go down into the JavaScript. I'm going to copy it, okay, and I'm going to paste it over here down below the form, but I'm going to make a couple of changes here. Instead of saying data inserted, I'm going to say data deleted. Okay, and I don't have to make any other changes to this JavaScript because I haven't changed. I named my form, and that I named the hidden text input hidden. So all of this JavaScript code should execute successfully. There's only one other thing I need to do. Okay, at the top, okay, of this JSP, in the body HTML element, I have to call that method, that JavaScript function, on the onload event. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my previous JSP web application. I'm going to copy the onload into this JSP application. Okay, so let's compile the code again. And let's run it. And we should see some different results. First of all, here are all of the actors, excluding the one that we had previously deleted. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select another actor. I'm going to push on submit, and hopefully this time that JavaScript function gives us some acknowledgement that yes, the delete did succeed. And there's the acknowledgement, the data was deleted. Okay, so I can go into the database, I can select the rows from the actor table, and I can see that I did indeed delete a row.